And then for the next several months, all I ate was peanut butter and ramen noodles. No joke, literally almost every day. Hi. So today, what I'm going to be talking about is goals and how to achieve them. How do you know if your goals are too big? What's a reasonable goal? And just kind of my journey and where I plan to go next. So ever since I was little, I really wanted to be, probably since I was about in junior high, I wanted to be a concept artist. And after watching all the special features for some of my favorite movies, it really solidified, like, yes, this is what I want to do. That seems awesome. And, watching Star Wars special features and Planet of the Apes and stuff like that. And so that's been my goal for a long time and what I've been working towards. And since then, from that point in junior high, I practiced a lot and worked really hard. And I was hired on in an animation studio here in Salt Lake about a year and a half ago, and it was an all right experience, but it wasn't really working for me. I wanted something bigger, so I did freelance for a while, and now my goal is to get a job working at the Void as a concept artist. And the Void is a real-world environment meets virtual reality overlaid environments entertainment experience, and it's going to be awesome and amazing. And I fully intend to work there. I don't have a degree, and I'm not planning on getting one, but I am planning on getting all the skills necessary I need to be able to get a job there. So, just a quick story. So this mug here is, it's in my intro video of all my YouTube videos, and it has some sentimental meaning to it. It is a mug that when I was in junior high, my parents got me for Christmas one year. It's a Gamorrean guard from Star Wars, because I love Star Wars. And, when I got this, I decided this is going to be the mug that when I become a full-fledged concept artist, I can set it on my desk, and once I've set it on my desk, that's when I know I've made it. I have become a full-fledged concept artist. And then I'm going to play Made It Through the Rain by Barry Manilow, and I'm going to softly cry to myself in pure happiness. So, and until then, I can't drink out of this. So I've never drinking out of this mug. It just sits here with my paintbrushes in it. But one day, soon, within a year, I'm going to be drinking out of this mug as a concept artist. Now, there was a lot of mini goals I made in between when I started and now to get to the point where I am. So I'm just going to show, kind of go over some of my older... So this here is my first sketchbook, okay? And this is when I was about 12, I think. Coming up with a bunch of designs, add a little bit more of a graphic style. And it's not bad. It's pretty good for my age, I guess. But it's not professional quality. I would never get hired if this was my portfolio at a concept studio. Oops, phone's going off there. So this is just to show when I started, when I was determined, this is about where I started. And I drew all the time. I practiced. If you want to go into a career in art, you should be drawing all the time, every single day. Okay, so not bad. Within a year though, I got a little bit better. And this was my next sketchbook. These are some robots I drew on the cover. Little droid there on the back. It's pretty old and faded. These are years old now. Let's see. So I had kind of progressed a little bit. And just by practicing all the time, non-stop. Let's see. Let's find some cool stuff. Some pretty cool monsters and creatures in there. And honestly, I think a lot of the time I was selling myself short, that I could have been doing more, and been more aggressive and gotten a lot farther. I still think I made some progress, definitely. But I still think I was kind of limiting myself by telling myself, like, oh, realistic mindset, when it's as hard as you're willing to work. And I think there's very few of us out there who are working so hard that there's realistically not more they could be doing. So then I moved on to college, and honestly, the most beneficial thing I got from college was just having my own space instead of being at home where I could create my art. College itself, the courses, was basically a huge waste of time. So I went from that to stuff like this, doing some watercolor and tone paper drawings. And I might make another video sometime where I go over some of my sketchbooks so you guys can see them in more detail. And I mean, I made some good friends in college, but thousands of dollars worth of friends, probably not. So I kept working at it, and I still, though, felt like I was going to college, and I felt like, man, I'm learning from these teachers who, I mean, they're pretty good at what they do, but they're not working in the industry I want to work in, and the curriculum they're teaching me is like 10 years old. And I felt like it was a huge waste of time and money. And so I ended up dropping out of college to figure out a better solution for me. And I still kept working on my art. This is another sketchbook I did when I was in college. Some creature designs and T-Rex studies. I studied a lot of animal anatomy and human anatomy. So some more stuff from that time period. And once again, none of this stuff is really bad, but it's probably not the quality where I could get a job with it, right? So then I realized that I needed to go digital, and I knew that it was going to be really expensive to make that leap. I would need to have a computer, I would need to have a tablet of some sort, and I would need to have the software to do it. But I knew that if I really wanted to get into the concept art industry, it was almost inevitable that I was going to have to go digital. Now, a lot of people might have said, that's impossible. I'm going to have to pay like $1,000 for a nice computer. I'm going to have to buy a tablet, which could be anywhere from $100 to $1,000. I'm going to have to buy the software, which is a monthly subscription. That's just too expensive. There's no way I can afford it. And at the time, I was living on my own, and I was working at a credit card company for like $12 an hour, not even working full time. But I knew I still had to do this. So what I did is I went and bought a computer, and then for the next several months, all I ate was peanut butter and ramen noodles. No joke, literally almost every day. I would wake up, eat a big old spoonful of peanut butter for my breakfast. For lunch, I would have ramen, and for dinner, I would have another big old spoonful of peanut butter. And that was seriously what I ate for a couple months. And it sucked. It definitely sucked. But it was totally worth it. And to me, giving up the luxury of having really nice food and a bunch of different comforts was worth me being able to get closer to pursuing my goals. And then later, after I kind of recovered from that, I used my tax return and donated plasma to be able to buy my iPad Pro, which is what I do most of my illustration work on. And then I use my computer to edit it and do other things. And then finally the software, which I went with my brother in on, and we split the software cost. So it was really hard, and I had to give up a lot of things. I literally had to give up my blood by donating plasma to be able to afford these things, but it was worth it for me. So I want you to think about your goals, the goals that you have right now, and ask yourself, how much am I actually willing to give up to pursue my goals? There's some things that I'm holding on to that aren't really more important than my goals, but I'm just reluctant to let them go? Are there things that I could push further to become successful? And I know I have them even still. There's definitely things that I could be moving past. So then I started digital, and I thought it would be a pretty easy. I already know how to draw traditionally. Won't be very hard to do digital. And I was kind of wrong. There was still a lot of stuff I had to learn. So I've been doing digital for a little over 6 months now. And I want to show you guys in 6 months, the progress I've made, and this is without any college or university training. All this is YouTube videos and like online schools where it's like $14 a month, super cheap. I mean, if you went without lunch for a day, you fasted for a day, didn't eat anything, save that $15 and put it towards online course for a month, piece of cake. Like, it's so cheap. So let's see here. Find my first digital piece that I did on my iPad when I got it. And all right, I think it's this one. Okay, so this is my first digital piece, and it just kind of looks like a pencil sketch, but I actually got pretty frustrated because although it looks decent, it didn't look like how I wanted it in my head. So after that, I tried drawing something from reference instead, and I drew this monkey, which once again, it doesn't look horrible, but it's kind of chalky, and I still felt like I wasn't going to be able to get a job with this quality of work. And so after studying and practicing and watching a lot of content on how to get better, my current level of work now looks like this. Okay, so in 6 months, I was able to get to a point where I'd say that's professional grade quality, and I'm comfortable putting that in my portfolio and trying to get a job with that. Now, I'm not saying this to tell you how awesome and amazing I am, because I'm pretty much just a normal guy, and I had my weak moments where I was super lazy and I binge watched Netflix and I barely painted or drew at all during the entire week, and I felt really discouraged. It happens to the best of us. But I am showing you this so you know that it's possible, that you can also get to that point if you push yourself, if you work hard and you're willing to sacrifice some of these other luxuries in your life that you might think are necessary, but when it comes down to it, are they really worth sacrificing your dream and your goal? So I really encourage you to really push yourselves. I'd love to hear in the comments what your goals are and the progress you're making. And as this YouTube series progresses, I want to share my journey with you of where I'm at and how I'm getting towards working at the Void. Because I want to prove to you that it's possible that you can become a professional artist without getting a huge degree and going to an expensive art school. That it's all about the skill and it's all about the talent and how motivated you are. So it's been awesome, guys, and I hope this was helpful and motivating for you, and have a great day. Hey, just a reminder to send me your artwork so I can critique it. If you're interested in having a professional artist draw and paint over your work and give you advice and feedback, then send it in, as long as it's high resolution and no fan art. And if you like what you saw today and you want to see more, please subscribe. Thanks.